Aboriginal TV, Channel 4. Putting Aboriginal news first.
The Northern Territory is bracing for Cyclone Trevor gaining intensity. This is the time to watch the TV and listen to the radio for the latest cyclone information and the cyclone warning messages. The Northern Territory Police, Fire and Emergency Services are advising that several remote communities in the Northern Territory are being evacuated in a state of emergency. Tropical Cyclone Trevor is expected to make landfall in the Eastern Arnhem District or the Carpentaria District as a Category 4 system over the next few days.
It's critical people listen, they take it seriously and they cooperate. I think that cooperation is really important. We want to make sure people managing this here and on the ground have as little to worry about as possible, and obviously that's best achieved if people cooperate with the messaging they hear. So we really want people to listen, take it seriously and cooperate, make the lives of the people doing this work of coordination and emergency response as easy as possible.
Looking at the population base within Numbulwar of about 600 people to be evacuated. At this stage, we're looking to evacuate that entire community. We commenced evacuations from Groote Eylandt yesterday afternoon through into the evening and again this morning. At the moment, there's about 500 to 600 people. The Northern Territory Emergency Services put significant work into developing emergency messaging into 18 Indigenous languages that is applicable territory-wide. We have used some of those messages, particularly Unindili Akwagawa and some Creole in those areas in the Gulf area that's going to be affected. The track of this particular cyclone and where the eye is travelling is not toward Groote Eylandt at the moment, it's more toward Borroloola. What that means is there will be gale force winds, and the advice from the Bureau of Meteorology at this stage is the wind expectation could be at the Category 2 level. Even if it's at the lower end of Category 3, the important thing here is that we are getting those people who are at greatest risk out of those communities as quickly as possible, as safely as possible, and we're getting them to Darwin and locations where they can be managed and cared for until they're able to return to their community.
Currently it's still a Category 1 cyclone. We are expecting to see rapid intensification over the next 12 to 24 hours, and that's why we have a Category 4 cyclone on the track map. If the system continues to intensify rapidly over the 48-hour period that it's got over water, then certainly it could reach Category 5 intensity, but we'll just need to see how it develops over the next 12 to 24 hours. Regardless of whether it's a 4 or a 5, it's really important that people understand this is a very serious cyclone. Not only is it very intense, it's very large, it covers a broad area, so people are going to be impacted by it, particularly those that are close to the crossing point. Every 3 hours we're issuing our track maps and watching the system very closely, so we'll update that advice if we're expecting it to go any stronger. Being a very intense cyclone, we would expect it to maintain cyclone intensity for up to 24 hours as it tracks inland. Even after the system has crossed the coast, the conditions are going to be very dangerous. There's going to be damage around, trees down, etc. And there'll be a lot of wind and rain for, I would imagine, at least the 12 to 24 hours in that Borroloola area. Residents outside of Borroloola certainly shouldn't be complacent at all. This system could cross the coast anywhere along the southern part of the Carpentaria coast. But yes, we have seen a shift in the guidance towards more of a closer impact towards Borroloola, and hence the messaging and the response that's happening from emergency services partners.
Cyclone Trevor will cross the coast with destructive 275 km/h wind gusts, heavy rainfall leaving local flooding and the uprooting of trees. Plan, prepare, survive.
Aboriginal TV, Channel 4. Putting Aboriginal news first.